Hey guys! So because of Christmas construction going on in my living room, I'm filming in my bedroom today. So this is one of my lovely bookshelves with my little little Squirtle, and my little Raichu, my little Pig and Puff. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk to you about the Book of Bart by Ryan Hill. This was a book that I got at LeakyCon, and I got to meet the author and talk to him about it a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So like I just showed you, like the book's got a demon on the cover of it that I personally think looks like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. I told people that and they say that I'm crazy. So I think it's just the fact that I associate suits and blonde hair with Barney Stinson. I just hit my desk with my arm. But yeah, so I think that's probably why I think it looks like Barney, because apparently nobody else does. But anyway, so as you can see from the cover, it's about a demon, obviously. It's about a demon named Bartholomew and an angel named Samantha. So the premise of the story is that Bartholomew is cast out of hell and brought back to earth, essentially, to help Samantha, the angel, find the Shard of Gabriel. Can't really say a whole lot more other than that regarding the details of the plot, because spoilers. Like I said, I got this book at LeakyCon. At the table, there was this little table where Ryan Hill and 3 other authors were, sitting with and promoting their books. At the time that I was there, Ryan was the only author there. I was just looking over the books, and I planned on buying them anyway, all of them that were there, just because I like the idea of supporting emerging indie. Oh my god, why can't I say that? I like the idea of supporting emerging indie authors. There we go. Anyway, I was looking at the books, and the first thing he asked was if I liked to laugh while I read. So of course I said yeah, and that's when he handed me his book. Because of the way he introduced it, I thought the book was going to be, really humorous, but at the same time I was really, really dreading that it wasn't going to be funny. And luckily that was completely unnecessary, because the book has a lot of dry, sarcastic humor, and I really like that, because I'm pretty sarcastic myself, so I think it was great to have it in the novel. That being said, sometimes I thought it was really exaggerated. I know why it was, because, it is narrated by a demon, so that whole idea of sin needed to be made clear. But at the same time, I think that it could have been toned down and the message still would have gotten across. I also really liked the story itself. I thought it was really interesting, and it provided for a lot of character growth. There were a couple of plot twists, and I thought interactions with side characters was really cool, because it added more depth to the story and gave more of a 3-dimensional kind of view of Bart, rather than him just being a demon. It's he actually had a really, really long life and did all of these different crazy things, and I thought that was really cool. I was also surprised at who the villain actually was and why they did what they did. I wasn't expecting it to go down the mythical road that it did, and I think that's really great, because usually I'm pretty good at predicting, who the bad guy is in books like this. So the fact that I was completely wrong and caught off guard the whole time was just kind of actually really awesome. That being said, I sometimes got a little distracted from the main plot by the subplot. I remember at one point when the subplot was about to be resolved, there wasn't a whole lot of the book left. So I was like, wait, what about the other stuff? And it wasn't until I was getting to the end of that little subplot that I realized that so much was still left unsaid. So it was kind of a delayed reaction. Everything was resolved in the end, and the loose ends were tied up really well. So that's good. But, you know, just like I said, I just got a little distracted from the main plot sometimes. I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing, because it wasn't hard to get back on track to the main plot. So take that how you will. There were also some instances in the novel, and I'm thinking of two in particular. They're both in the later half of the book, where I questioned whether or not it was actually necessary. Both events were really over the top, and I feel like they were kind of put in there for shock value more than anything else. Yeah, they were kind of weird. Really, really weird. So now for the characters. At first, I really disliked Bart. He was pompous, entitled, materialistic, arrogant, but of course he was supposed to be. You know, he was supposed to be that way because he's a demon. I liked that I disliked him, because to me that meant that he was written well, or at the very least had the potential to be written well. And throughout the story, like I mentioned earlier, he became more of a three-dimensional character. So he was in fact well written. It wasn't just a, you know, potential thing. I felt the same about the character Samantha. In the beginning, I shared her dislike for Bart, and as the story goes along and progresses, she kind of warms up to him, and I kind of felt the same way, so I related to her on that. I felt like she was kind of over the top sometimes too, but I also really liked the way her personality contrasted with Bart's. And she also grew to have more of a personality as the story went on. So, I mean, at first I think the contrast of personality between her and Bart came from the fact that he had this huge personality and she really didn't have one. But as the story, you know, progressed, she got a personality, and, like, she became more human, and so did Bart. I also really like the way that the author integrated the supernatural into everyday life. He made it make sense, like, as much as the story, you know, that's so fantastic and supernatural could make sense. Like, for instance, there were demons all over high school. So he took that, you know, I don't want to say archetype because it's real life, but cliche. That cliche that high school is a living hell, and he made it that. And I just think that's really cool that he was able to do that. Overall, I thought it was a fun read, and I'm glad I picked it up. I definitely feel like this book is geared toward the older YA young adult audience, but regardless of that, it was still really fun. And it's also relatively small. It's easy to read. So yeah, this is a good one. It doesn't take up a lot of time, but it's a good way to spend your time. That's about it for this video. My next video, I will also be talking about one book that I got at LeakyCon. It's up here, and you can't see that. It's up here, right there, this one. I'll be talking about that book. So I also got to meet that author, so that was really cool. But yeah, that will hopefully be up for you soon. So I will talk to you later. Okay, bye!